Hey everyone, it's Dmitry and welcome to my SoExpert channel. And today I want to talk to you about how 3D printing can help you with your film photography, not only film photography. So 3D printing is like, it's been there for a while, let's say. And as I usually go, when people start with 3D printing, then they usually start with printing something like a smartphone stand. Then they go to one of those websites, so for example Thingiverse, and then they download some ridiculous stuff and 3D print it. But then if they kind of stick around for a while, they start thinking how can they solve the problems that are around them with 3D printing. And if you happen to be a photographer and you're kind of curious about 3D printing, chances are that you are going to develop and design models that will help you with your day-to-day photographer life. So that happened to me, and then it happened not only to me. So on Thingiverse there are a lot of people that share their designs that can help you with your photography business, so to speak. So, and let's start with something that I printed myself, and then I will tell you something that you can find and download for free and 3D print by yourself. And don't worry if you don't have a 3D printer. There are a lot of communities out there, so-called makers cafes and 3D hub, I think, where you can order a 3D print and pay for it. So usually it's kind of comes with the price. So usually it's sometimes cheaper to buy an affordable 3D printer yourself and 3D print your own stuff than actually ordering it, but that's not, let's say, let's not get to it in this video. So the first thing I want to show you is my medium format film case that you can download and you can print for free. So it fits 5 rolls and I printed 2 of them, and actually I think you also can buy one of those on the Japan Camera Hunter website, because the owner of the website incorporated with the designer of this case, and now they just print those and sell those on the website, but you still can find one of those on the Thingiverse and download and print it for free. So like it's your choice. So either you if you don't want to print it by yourself, you can buy one. Still, you can download it and 3D print it for free. And the second thing is actually a 35mm to 120 adapter. So those are 2 parts. So this is a little bit stiff, yeah. So it's like this, and as you can see, you can just put them on your regular 35mm roll, and then you can also 3D print like a Tenken spool, which is also kind of a 35mm, and then it goes like this into your camera, and then you can shoot 35mm in your pretty much any medium format camera. But beware that some medium format cameras really, they really count your film, because there is like a moving roller, and with those cameras that this Tenken spool won't work. I think it wouldn't work with my Yashica, for example, because this is exactly the system. I might be wrong, that's like my assumption, because I saw this moving wheel. So as you roll more film, more exposed film on your Tenken spool, this wheel kind of goes up, and I think this is somehow works as a frame counter. I might be wrong, but just check your camera before you especially buy one of those, because it just may not work for you. But it actually worked for me in my folding camera, which is Moskva 5, right now on CLA, so I cannot show you, unfortunately. But while we're speaking about Moskva 5, so some of you may know that this camera has like interchangeable, let's say, masks. And this is my custom mask I 3D printed, so you can see how thin it is. It's actually thinner, no, it's like 1mm thin, or like a little bit less. and this is my custom mask for 35mm film. So in my episode on like Poor Man's Hasselblad Expand, you could notice that, and I actually explicitly told about this, that the one problem that when you actually stretch the 35mm film, it starts like curling and bending. So then you kind of have soft focus in some areas. So this is why I actually printed this mask, because then film just goes here. As you can see, it's like a 0.5 millimeter actually precision, and then film is like nice and even, and there are no soft focus effect. So this is why I did this, and it works great, and it's really, really awesome. And speaking about my Yashica camera, you might have noticed that it has this lens cap, and this lens cap I actually downloaded and 3D printed, because I didn't have a lens cap coming with my camera. So, and when I wanted to travel to States, I decided that that's gonna be a nice to have, just to protect my lenses from scratching or whatever. So, and as I said, so from stuff that I shown you right now, only, let's say, that one I designed myself. Everything else I downloaded and 3D printed, so no need to design stuff. Let's go back. Let's go next and look at this large format camera lens. So, and it has a defect, and this is a subject of a different video, but the lens board actually is a 3D printed lens board. So this is a Linov Technica lens, and it came with like aluminum board, which is much smaller than a regular 4x5, well, large format camera board. So I had to print one, or I mean buy one. I could buy one, but I decided to go ahead and print one. So this is something that you also can 3D print. And let's say my biggest proud, which is actually like a 4x5 conversion back for my Polaroid project, and of course this you know, the focusing screen, focusing glass, fake insert and stuff like that. And I know it's been long overdue when I actually promised you to make an update on the camera, but right now I'm working on the, let's say, on the last pieces to incorporate the, let's say, those bindings that you have on a camera, like for example this little hook, to reuse everything that camera has to offer. Oh, sorry about that. That the camera has to offer to actually to hold this back on the camera. And I just need to design the last part. So when you actually have your, you know, screen here, I would like to have like a couple of rubber bands here, so it like takes it nice and it holds it really firmly. And this is gonna be my very last piece before I will reprint a new one. This is like an alpha version, and I will reprint the beta version, and then when I will make a final call on will I be releasing this or not. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. So that was a part one, and this was like something that I 3D printed myself, but actually there are a lot of stuff on the Thingiverse website that you can just download and print, and I haven't tried to print. So for example, you can download the 620 film spool if you don't have one, or you can even download like 4x5 sheet film reel for daylight developing tanks. So if you have like a regular development tank for 35 or 120 film and you don't have a reel, you can download one, 3D print one. There is a catch. You should be really careful 3D printing, so it doesn't really soak the chemicals, so you should pick the plastic for printing, but that's like a totally different story. Then of course you can 3D print a camera. So you can 3D print a pinhole 4x5 camera. And not only this, there is also a project where a person decided to recreate one of those box camera designs, and it's like fully open source, so you can download everything, then you can buy a little bit of hardware and electronics and basically have a 120 box style camera, and it's really awesome. And that's not only it, you also can download various, of course, adapters for your vintage lenses, and you can even download tilt shift adapters, so which is really crazy. So you can print a tilt shift adapter, and I really tried to print one, but it didn't come out very well. It didn't fit my Sony camera, and then I sold my Kiev, so I don't have this lens anymore, but that's a totally different story. But you can do it, and it's just like a tip of the iceberg what you actually can download on the internet and then 3D print. So I hope I managed to sparkle this little bit of curiosity, and then you will research this a little bit and maybe download and 3D print something. And that's pretty much everything I have to say for today, and thanks for watching, and I see you next time.